Hi, my name is Savannah Smith, and this is the personal responsibility speech I will be talking about today. On September 1st, 2021, Texas set in place an abortion ban called the Texas Heartbeat Act. That establishes a system in which members of the public can sue anyone who performs or facilitates an illegal abortion after about 6 weeks of pregnancy for a minimum of $10,000 in statutory damages. That unfortunately can be too late for many women who don't even know that they are pregnant. The only way someone can get an abortion is if they are in medical crisis, and that leaves the victims of rape and incest without any form of say for their body. Texas government and individuals of the public have made it their personal responsibility to not only force their values onto everyone who doesn't have their opinion, but also take away a woman's ethical right and choice to terminate her pregnancy. And that has not only sharpened my value towards a woman's constitutional right to her own body, but has helped shape my value on ethical speaking when it comes to the counsel that doctors are obliged and are supposed to give their patients concerning other options when pregnancy is not viable or not for them. Many believe that it is murder once the fetus has a heartbeat and consider it unethical to terminate the pregnancy. While I understand other people's values and ethical speaking towards the rights of the fetus are valid in their own way, I do strongly believe that it is not ethical to force a value onto someone who has undergone a traumatic situation, or to someone who is a child themselves, or even in medical crisis and unfortunately cannot continue the pregnancy. Granted, sure, women can hear them out, but it does not mean that the person in pregnancy must take this as values as well. Along with that, doctors now cannot counsel this option as it becomes dangerous and ill-advised to offer service that, granted, is still protected under the Constitution. This law has made others' values become more important than the value of a woman's bodily right and a doctor's speech. It becomes an ethical dilemma as doctors are required to educate their patients about their different forms of medical care. And truthfully, I have seen many videos on people bad-mouthing the women who are going to get an abortion outside the clinic. And to me, it promotes unethical speaking when these people use certain language. And it becomes unethical speaking for a person to take the situation into their own hands. Which this law has now made it possible for a person to take the situation into their own hands, and that becomes dangerous for everyone involved. I had a coworker who was pregnant, and my boss said, "You must keep it now. You made this choice and you must stick with it." I found that to be unethical speaking, as my boss put it in a way where this child would be a burden, not a blessing. And there wasn't any other choice. And unfortunately, in the end, my coworker did have to terminate her pregnancy due to it being not being a viable one. But I thought of what if she had said it was through rape or incest? What my boss say the same thing? And when you think about the fact that afterwards, my boss said it's a sad thing that she had to, and yes, it is sad, but it's a hard decision. But we have to be able to know that these women and the doctors that are promoting, or the doctors that need to, not promoting, but the doctors that are there to give that form of medical care an option, are doing it because they believe it is right, or because they have no other option, or because it is a right to their own body and a right to their own speech. So truthfully, it is our personal responsibility to educate people of different values, that other values are just as important as their own, and use ethical speaking to convey this message. Thank you, and have a good night.